In today's video, we'll hop into an ominous action RPG known to many as Dark Souls 3. Developed by FromSoft and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, Dark Souls 3 is the third installment in the Dark Souls franchise. It brings cutting-edge graphics, intense gameplay, and countless hours of depth. Dark Souls 3, like its predecessors, was designed using Sony's Fire Engine. It was initially released in Japan on March 24, 2016 for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows, moving to a worldwide release on April 12, 2016. The beauty of Dark Souls 3 is you don't have to know the story in order to enjoy the game. Dark Souls 3 contains a simplistic main story. However, there's a lot more lore to learn about if you do a little digging. This can be done by watching cinematics, reading item descriptions, and talking with NPCs throughout the game. You must fight through mobs of enemies to reach what many consider to be the real meat of a Souls game, the bosses. The first boss in the game is more of a tutorial boss. After you defeat this boss, you are led on a path to the Firelink Shrine. This will be your central hub of the game. Here you will find blacksmiths, merchants, and other characters, but most importantly, the Firekeeper. The Firekeeper will level your stats in exchange for souls. The Firekeeper is a treasure and is to be treated as such throughout your journey. If you've played any other Souls game, you'll know that enemies in between bosses and bonfires can be just as brutal as the bosses themselves. Playing a Dark Souls game is known to be ridiculously difficult for some, with enemies and boss fights that will test any player's patience. This is probably why Dark Souls is seen by many in the gaming community as a game with many opportunities for challenge runs. People constantly try to do things like no-hit runs, speed runs, specific builds, no-roll and parries, New Game Plus, and more. If you're wondering what some of these are, no-hit runs are playthroughs in which the player cannot take a hit from start to finish. Speed runs are timed runs in which the player tries to finish the game as fast as they possibly can. When doing specific builds, you can do things like pyromancy builds. No rolls and parries refers to ways to dodge in the game, or in this case, you cannot. And in New Game Plus, it is a way to increase the difficulty after you complete the game. The weapon and armor designs are amazing, but we think there should be a little bit more fictional armor and weapons, such as the Dark Wraith armor and the Fume Ultra Greatsword, because who doesn't like huge swords and beefed up looking armor? The spell and enchantment effects are incredibly well made, but there's not a lot of variety in particle or coloring when it comes to sorcery. This is also true for pyromancy, but because the purpose of pyromancy is fire, there's not really a lot to complain about there. The game's atmosphere is very well transferred over to the player for many various reasons, such as the game's world breaking apart or that everything is sad and dying. This can also be a bad thing, since there isn't a lot of variety in the areas, since everything is either gray or brown. There's no audio in the game whilst traversing the world, and by taking away the background music from the game, it adds such a lonely and deserted feeling while playing. Although music always starts playing during the boss fights, and since that's the case, there's not a lot we can criticize there. Since this is a Dark Souls game, the level design is of course going to be one of the most painful parts of the game. Areas like the Farron Swamp or the Smoldering Lake can really get on your nerves because they punish you for exploring by poisoning or showering you with arrows. Now for the multiplayer aspects of the game. For some this can be the most fun, and for others, the worst part. The multiplayer has a lot of problems such as lag, cheaters, and just straight up overpowering glitches. The biggest and most prevalent problem with the PvP is the lag. Another problem is the cheaters in the game, which can easily bypass the anti-cheat, which is really terrible at anti-cheating since it only detects changes in game files for the most part. The team gives Dark Souls 3 a 4 out of 5 rating. This installment of the Dark Souls world is a good polish on the work that came before it. The graphics and gameplay continue to hold up, and it's a good game for new Souls players to jump into. It does have its issues, but with intense and engaging bosses and replay value, you'll find yourself putting countless hours into this edition of the franchise. This could be from NG Plus runs, PvP, or other challenge runs we previously spoke of. For us, we have some issues with the multiplayer we wish were fixed. This doesn't take away from what makes this game special and worth a play. If you're trying for a game that will make you have a sense of accomplishment by the end, this is it. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more upcoming content, such as IRL challenges and more reviews. Check the description box below to links for our Twitch channels containing our full playthroughs of Dark Souls 3. You can also join our growing gaming community through our Discord link. Thanks again, fam, and we'll see you next time.